We are going to figure out what the hell's going on in the world of movie news, because there's some stuff that is happening or did happen. And I think one of those things that we'll talk about right off the bat, and you guys, I believe, covered it on Movie Talk yesterday, was Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was pushed back.
Wonder Woman was pushed back to June 5th, 2020, and they kind of announced that, like, hey, it's supposed to be here because that's a famous date in Wonder Woman lore. And
you buying it?
Yeah, to a certain extent, just because I honestly think it's just them separating themselves from the DCU so they can figure out time to get their shit together a little bit, because you have no idea how Aquaman's going to be, how Shazam's going to be, and then it was going to be Wonder Woman, then the Joker movie, then Birds of Prey. So now Birds of Prey is going to come out before Wonder Woman. Okay. But I think that Wonder Woman, it's like, look, we have no idea. Is Henry Cavill coming back? Who's going to be our new Batman? And you have to look at this version of Wonder Woman is different than the first one, because the first one, I think people wanted it to be a standalone movie. Give her own movie. You don't need all the Justice League being crammed in there in cameos. But now, I think the DCU looks at Wonder Woman as she is the pillar from which you're going to build the rest of the DCU. Yeah. So if you need a new Batman, or you need to put in Superman, maybe they get in that movie in 1984.
So, Mark, you actually think that they will make script changes to Wonder Woman, and that's what the delays are about?
I'm sure they're probably tweaking it a little bit, but no, I don't think it's a major thing. I don't think it's like major reshoots or overhauls or anything.
You don't think Batman's going to become like the second biggest character in the movie? You think he could be introduced in like a brief cameo?
I think it's going to be brief, if anything, just because I don't think they want to make the same Batman v Superman, just going a little too quickly with it. Like, you can tease Batman or tease Superman, but
we went to see First Man last week with my parents, and
did you like it? Batman, Superman, First Man.
I thought it was very slow.
It was slow.
Yeah. It was good.
Too long?
Yeah, it was a little long for me. I wanted it to be like Apollo 13, and when an hour into the movie, I realized it wasn't going to be Apollo 13, and I was like, yeah, okay. But Ryan Gosling's fantastic. The whole story, it didn't move enough for me. Okay. I wanted a little more space race than Neil Armstrong life.
You are in the popular opinion.
Yeah. What do you think of Claire Foy?
I was on the other side of it, but I mean,
her eyes are so big the whole time.
I think it's probably 50-50. But
I think that most people that saw the movie, it's why it also didn't do very well, because there was a lot of interest in it.
No, it's
are not where you and I are. Like, because I loved the movie. I loved it. I thought it was great. But a lot of people lie where McCougan and Rossi
still might be.
We're actually like this. Sorry,
it's a top 5 of the year for me.
Is it really?
I didn't mean to jump so quickly.
No, you're right. You're right, because I know you like the movie.
I really
it's top 10. I'll say top 10. I'm not sure. I haven't. Yeah.
I saw that and Stars Born basically in the same week, and I was way more moved by Stars Born, which I didn't think was going to happen.
Yeah. Beardo, did you see First Man yet?
I have not.
Okay.
I think that it's such an amazing story about the kind of strain this situation puts on relationships. And
I get that, but I didn't want that.
Right, totally. It was not the movie you wanted, but we've seen the movie you wanted before, and this was about who?
Neil
Armstrong.
First Man. Yeah, I get it.
And so it wasn't First Man and only the moon and his journey on there for the 20 minutes he was there. I don't know how long he was actually there. Probably many more minutes than that. It was First Man.
No, I get it. I do. Anyway, this was about the Aquaman trailer was before the movie, and it starts right. The Aquaman trailer starts, and my mom leans in and she goes, "I read this book. It's great." And she started watching the trailer, and I was like, "Mom, this is the Aquaman trailer." And she goes, "Oh, I thought it was the lighthouse."
That's awesome.
Which was just, I lost it. I thought she didn't even bring it
Deb
She would turn there and go, "No, issue number 57. Aquaman meets him."
That would have been amazing.
But I do want to ask Riley his opinion on this whole Wonder Woman thing, because I think Ellis makes some good points of what they try to do and distinguish themselves, because there's no connection right now with or plan with the DCU. They're trying to get it back and form. Plus, you got all these other standalone DC movies.
Yeah, and I'll also note that Wonder Woman was coming out November 1st of 2019, and so that would have been less than a month after the Joker movie comes out.
Okay, cool.
So they're pushing it almost 8 months?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, because then Birds of Prey comes out in February, and Wonder Woman can be seen as a summer tentpole movie. I mean, I'm sure that they're probably reshooting stuff. I don't know if it's like a major overhaul. Is that your read on it, Ron?
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Goldstein, the president of domestic distribution at Warner Brothers, said they had great success in the summer, so we want to go back to the summer. I think it's a little bit of that. I think it's a little bit of the Joker. I think it's a little bit. I think it more has to do with the idea that they might be slowly revamping the DC universe. I think they're going to give this some more bells and whistles, maybe lighten it up a bit. just really take their time on this and see how Aquaman Shazam does. I don't know about this Birds of Prey, though, coming in before that. That worries me, because then are they going to try to rejigger some universe stuff and introduce new characters, and then it's going to affect Wonder Woman, and they're like waiting to see what those movies will be so that the flagship Wonder Woman can, you know, figure that out or bring it back home.
I think if
don't
anything,
know.
Birds of Prey would introduce like a new Gotham-y character, maybe a Batman or something like that. But I don't think Birds of Prey is the right landing spot to even tease Batman. I think that's the movie that should be like Wonder Woman was in 2017, 16. Is that it should be just a standalone story about the shit going on in Gotham City.
Right.
And then Wonder Woman can be the big juggernaut that helps launch other movies.
I think that so much is going to take shape in the next like year or so. They're gonna have to just reassess everything and really look at how they want to plan it out. And I think Wonder Woman is like their biggest property right now as far as box office stuff and as far as overall critical success. I know that obviously Batman is the big property, but if you look at what Wonder Woman did and it's riding high right now, you protect that property. You protect it. You make sure that when you release it, it's the time you want to release it, that it's going to connect into the properties that you want it to connect into, and you really have to protect that property at all costs. And if this is what they want to do, and going back to June is what they want to do, then they should do it. If that's what Patty Jenkins wants to do, if that was part of her request, then that's what she should do. I don't think the movie's in
You
trouble.
can trade wide receivers and running backs. You got to hold on to the quarterback.
Yeah,
Star Wars has
another
done it many
reason
times.
is that they're because Warner Brothers as a company also had the $6 billion Man opening June 5th, 2020. That's the Mark Wahlberg movie. That got yanked off the schedule same time this was announced.
Which one was that? I'm sorry.
The $6 billion Man.
Oh, okay.
So
that movie's been circulated forever.
yeah, with Mark Wahlberg playing the $6 billion Man, but that's totally off the schedule now.
Wow.
So another part of me is thinking Warner Brothers likes money and they want to spread out their wealth around the year.
Creed 3.
Why would you force Wonder Woman a month after the Joker and have all that P&A campaigning going up towards the end of the year when now, because you don't have the $6 billion Man, which maybe was a summer tentpole, Wonder Woman is definitely your summer tentpole. So I think there's a lot of other reasons and not just, oh no, they're panicking,
I think you're
they
right.
have to reshoot.
I think you're right, and I think that if you look at, let's use Star Wars as an example with Solo and Last Jedi, too close together. You can only put the marketing between Last Jedi when it started, and then because it's the same studio as Avengers, all the marketing went to Avengers, and Solo got nothing.
People don't appreciate what a crazy thing that Marvel pulled off with having Black Panther come out in February and then Infinity War coming out and moving it up to April. Like that's not. We're gonna look back on that and be like, man, they were riding so high with house money
because of what they were able to establish. They have established serialized movies.
Right.
That's the reason, because Star Wars doesn't have that with Solo and Last Jedi. They're completely two different movies, so you don't have to watch one to watch the other one. You had to watch Black Panther in order to be invested all the way through in Avengers. You could have watched it without it, but it didn't have the same impact for when certain things happen in the movie, and you're like, well, wait a minute, that's not what I just got so attached to all these people in this movie. So
I will say though, if you're this weekend was a rough weekend for Marvel TV with Iron Fist getting canceled.
Yeah, we talked about it for a bit yesterday. Yeah,
Luke
we didn't
Cage
get your
getting
take on it.
canceled. They may know how to do movies really well, but their TV department hits real highs and lows. I mean, it's
because there's so much of it, and there's also, I mean, there's the difference between, it's all about leadership in anything, right? In any part of business. And I know that we praise Feige, but he deserves it. Feige over here, and then Perlmutter is okay.
Yeah,
he's okay. He's got some hits with Punisher and Daredevil, but
and Jessica Jones,
and I think a lot of people like that. We thought basically what we said yesterday was that Luke Cage was a show that I was surprised was pulled, because from the people that I had heard that saw it liked it, but Roxy made a great point in this overall kind of stratosphere of people talking about it. The ones that she heard, and correct me if I'm misquoting you, but like from ones she usually hears about, Daredevil, Punisher. Yeah. That's really it.
And then after that, Jessica Jones.
Yeah. Right.
For some,
I think everybody's view of that is different. Like I like Luke Cage a lot better than I liked anything except for Daredevil.
Not about what's best. What people are
that's what I'm talking
Casual
about too.
fans.
I think casual fans. I can't put the Punisher quite that high, because the Punisher was the series I was most excited for, and it didn't feel like that had the same hype as certainly Daredevil, and I thought that hype was on a par with Luke Cage. So I was surprised at that. I was not surprised at Iron Fist at all.
I think the delivery of Luke Cage was the problem for me was because there was too many episodes. The first season was a mess after episode 6 or 7. I still haven't watched season 2, so I can't really say much. But I mean, Luke Cage and Iron Fist are supposed to be like, the heroes for hire. That was their goal, was to go to that.
Right.
But they botched Iron Fist so bad that it brought Luke Cage down with it.
Yeah.
And we don't know what's going to happen with the Disney streaming service coming out next year.
Right.
It's hard for me to think that they would want to put Iron Fist on that in the current form, but Luke Cage possibility.
I agree with you on that.
My only fear with like the Daredevil thing is that because Daredevil's so hard R and the Punisher is so hard R,
Right.
that Disney is like, we don't want that.
Yeah, that's what we talked about yesterday. We just don't know if they're going to have that kind of they're going to ever have that kind of division in Disney if they need it for the brand. So who the hell knows?
Let's have Danish Harloff weigh in.
No more Danish.
I have,
we're
a
good.
totally different question.
Yeah.
Who are the birds of prey?
Okay.
Good, Roxy. Let Roxy hit it.
What is it,
So-
like Hawkeye,
No.
Bobby Birds, Donnie Feathers,
Condor Man.
Condor
The
Man.
T-Birds.
I mean, he just nailed it. I really don't need
Yeah.
to.
Rizzo.
So it's the movie that's going to be headed by Harley Quinn.
Oh, okay.
And her girl gang of kick butt, somewhat villain, somewhat.
Oh, okay.
Catwoman.
Like birds.
She will be
Chicks.
in the. So we're gonna go from supposedly we're going to go from Birds of Prey to Gotham City Siren, and we're going to get some of the girls once and then some other times. So in total, we'll end up having a Catwoman, a Batwoman, a Poison Ivy, a Batgirl, all of the.
They're trying
the
to
people that
establish
we've seen.
new parts of the
I
IP.
like that.
Eventually.
God, every time you said Birds of Prey, I was like, if they bring back Hawk Girl from the DC
No,
universe, I'm going to be.
Hawk Girl isn't involved, but
No.
I
But-
loved her.
but look.
Sierra Renee.
But this is the thing, though. The plan.
You
and
liked that character?
Yeah, I loved
The
her.
plan and the strategy is something that it makes sense. Like, it's a good plan and strategy. It's all about execution. now.
Huntress.
Because the same thing with like Suicide Squad, right? Plan of Suicide Squad, great. Execution, not so great. Because if that movie would have hit, it would have been amazing for fans and critics. We're talking about a different DCEU right now.
100%.
I mean, we are looking at it because you could have had, if all of those characters would have been like the most, and again, this isn't any movie, but if it's, let's say there's some of the most memorable characters we've ever seen, and not just doable, because Will Smith was great in the movie, and even Joel Courtney was great in the movie.
Jai.
I don't care. I always call him Joel.
Joel Kinnaman. Jai Courtney.
There's two combined, they deserve one praise.
Joel Courtneyman?
But the point is,
Giles Courtneyman.
Yeah. The point is, if they would have really hit, and you could have spun off all of their movies together, essentially what MCU did, we're looking at I'm convinced of it. And it's a great, and that's why I think Birds of Prey is a great business strategy. If it hits,
They took the one thing that people liked, or one of the few things that people universally acclaimed out of Suicide Squad. And it's interesting because I think in Birds of Prey, by the time that stuff comes around, it's basically Harley Quinn is leaving her relationship with Joker. She's kind of splitting from Joker. So I don't know if we'll see Jared Leto's Joker in the movie. Might be a character that's lurking around somewhere, but it's not going to focus on that as much as it is. There's a new baddie that's something sinister,
Black Mask.
Black Mask,
yeah, which is typically a Batman villain, but I'm pretty excited about it. And honestly,
and Batgirl, maybe there's a Batgirl sighting.
And is Black
Yeah.
Mask a girl too?
no, and we've got Huntress in there, and Barbara Gordon, and my favorite Black Canary. So it's like so many characters to choose from, and an extended universe that could
These
go
guys are killing me.
there. Especially when I'm not loving.
Sounds
a
like
lot
you
of
walked
our
into a bird
characters.
store.
No, we need a camera on them too, because they get so excited.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like you see in the back, they must have been giggling like kids. They're putting up pictures of real birds in the back, and they were fucking losing their minds back there.
They're doing the Riley close-up.
Are they in the close-up again?
That's what they're laughing
It was
at.
a good question though, Mark. If Joker is in there, and we have Jared Leto coming out that close to the
it out.
Joker movie,
Yeah.
it'll be so interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing with that,
Yeah. Right.
but I don't need Jared Leto's Joker in this.
I don't need
at
Do you
all.
need him
ever.
ever again?
No.
I wouldn't hate it.
I wouldn't hate
and
it
if James Gunn or whoever's going to do Suicide Squad 2, you imagine that Joker's going to be in there somewhere, and I'd be up for a Suicide Squad 2. I didn't hate the first one.
Here's the
Me
thing:
neither.
if Joaquin Phoenix comes out and kills it,
This is where I was going with
yep,
it.
nobody's going to care about Jared Leto. They're going to want more Joaquin Phoenix.
Find a way to combine both
Yeah.
of them. They
I just
started
like
off as a separate franchise, but don't ever say it doesn't connect.
And it's a different time frame already.
But can
though.
you have
How
two Jokers?
far off?
You're
The
starting it
80s?
in
80s,
the
but
late
what if-
70s, 80s is the vibe that they're
Wonder
going for
Woman
with the Joker movie.
1984. Can we see anything there? I mean, she's
But we've already
she's
seen.
in time.
We
you
saw
know,
Batman
we know what
Suicide
happens in
Squad. Here's the
84.
good thing. What happens in 84?
The greatest album ever made.
Pretty kick-ass rock record comes out called 1984.
Yeah.
Here's the really good thing that DC has going for it. We have as many universes as we want. We can jump timelines. We have time travel. We've got the Flash. We can go anywhere, any place.
True.
And there are ways to combine universes, as we've seen on the DC TV shows with Supergirl being on a different universe.
It just could get messy.
Oh, very convoluted. I'm not saying they should do it. I'm just saying
There's
that
ways to do
there
it.
are ways
Yeah,
to.
no, I agree with you. I just say it's just tricky because especially you were trying not to confuse people who don't know what the hell is going on. TV is one thing because that's really an invested audience that's tuning in just for the show too. With the movies, it's like, oh, there's a new.
But
the
strings connecting the world in the DC TVU, and I stopped watching a year and a half ago, so I probably am wrong at this point. But it looks like Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind. It's just like Barry went here to Earth 6, 74, 40, 32, and now there's Supergirl's on a different Earth, so Supergirl can come into the crossover when they come to the other Earths. Now they go to the other Earths with the changelings and all this stuff, and now
then with
Arrow's
Flashpoint, we have two Arrows.
and Flashpoint's here, and Barry has no idea where he is, and everybody else is kind of confused as to where Iris or Barry is.
Stuck in the
who's
Speed
wherever,
Force.
and who's Black Canary? Which Black Canary is this? Is Black Canary screaming, or it's Earth 2 Black Canary?
No, she's Black
Nobody
Siren
knows,
now.
Christian.
Okay,
That's
well,
why I
look.
stopped
I
watching.
know.
Except for Deb Makuga,
Sorry.
who read the books.
He did.
That's true,
She
Mike.
did.
That's
No, just the book.
All right, let's move away from this, please.